splits, stretching out your legs, lengthening those muscles a little bit. A few notes before we get started. Please make sure that you feel very warm before we move into this sequence, into these poses. I'll warm you up a little bit, but if you feel like you need a little more before we move into the splits, check out some of my other videos online here at YogaTX. And a couple other little things before we get started. When we move into the splits, there's a lot of different muscle groups that come into play. So we really want to focus on stretching out not only our legs, but also our heart and supporting our low spine, the fronts of our thighs, all these other muscles that we may not always think come into play when we think of building towards our splits. So that being said, we'll start by rooting down through the feet. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, fold it forward, finding a nice forward fold. Release the head. You can bend the knees or work towards straightening them wherever your body's at today. We'll take 2 more breaths here, starting by stretching into the hamstrings. Again, you can always bring a block for a little support. Wherever you're at, we'll take 1 more deep breath in and deep breath out. And then bending into the left knee, straightening through the right. Plant the left palm. Inhale, roll the heart open. Stretching through that right IT band, the hamstring. Inhale deeply. And exhale, release. Inhaling over to the other side, bending the right knee. Lengthening through the left. Rolling the heart open. Exhale, release. 1 more time to either side. Inhale, roll the heart open. Lengthen through the right leg. Exhale, release. And 1 more time. Rolling the heart open. Exhale, release. Moving the block off to the side. Go ahead and walk the feet forward. The hands forward, the feet back. Finding plank pose for just a moment. Inhale. And exhale, release the knees to the earth, lowering the chest and the chin down. We'll come into some baby Cobra push-ups here to warm up the heart. So palms by the shoulders, elbows hug in. Inhale as we lengthen out and gently roll the heart forward. Really trying to keep all our ribs on the ground and just really roll the heart forward. Gaze is down, neck is long. And exhale, release. We'll find 3 more of these. Inhale, roll the heart open. Exhale, release. Keeping our toes down. Hugging the elbows in, lengthening through the crown of the head. We'll take 1 more of these. Inhale, lengthening up. And exhale, release. Tucking the toes. Find our way back to downward facing dog, pressing through the palms. Lifting the hips, releasing the heels. 2 breaths here in down dog, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. And then from here, we'll inhale, lift the right leg up to the sky. Lengthening out through that hip. And then just roll that hip open, bending in that knee, stretching out through that front of the leg, through the thigh. And just take a few circles here. 1 direction, whoop, and then the other direction. And then just step the right toes forward, dropping that back knee. Feel free to, as always, cushion up a little with a blanket. We'll inhale, the arms open, stretching into that psoas muscle a little. And exhale, slip the hips back. Maybe the toes stay down, maybe they flex, maybe you bring a block. Really make this practice your own. Know that it's for your body and no one else's. So adjust accordingly, really plugging that right hip back. We'll take one more deep breath in. And exhale, release, coming back forward. Plant the left fingertips or palm. Roll that right arm open, reaching for those left toes. Stretching through that psoas muscle, rolling the heart open. Bringing a little heart opener into this as well. Take one more deep breath in. And exhale, release. From here, keeping the toes tucked, we'll lift that back thigh off the mat. Slide the blanket off to the side for a moment. Squaring the hips, maybe walk the feet a little east and west. Root down, and then rise up, coming into this crescent moon pose. Again, just deepening that stretch, rooting down through the heel, through the right pinky toe edge. Take one more deep breath in. And then exhale, hands come to the hips. Again, mindful that blanket is all the way off the mat. We'll just step the left toes in about a foot. Squaring the hips. We'll inhale, the heart open, gaze lifts. And exhale as we tilt the pelvis, folding forward here. Again, plugging that right hip back. Maybe the hands come down to the mat. Maybe they come to a block. And then just release the head. Taking 2 breaths here. Again, really stretching into that right leg. And then from here, walking the fingertips out. You might have to bend that front knee a little to give yourself a little leverage. Lift up into standing split. The hips squared down to the mat rather than splaying out. Toes active. You can either point or flex them. We'll take one more deep breath in. And exhale, drop those toes all the way to the back of the mat. Planting the palms. Step back to that plank pose, lowering knees, chest and chin. Inhale into that baby cobra. Or maybe we take it just a little bit further today. Exhale, release. And find our way back to that downward facing dog. Reversing to the other side, we'll inhale, lift the left leg up to the sky. Stacking the hips, bend that knee, stretching through the front thigh. See if you can keep your weight even between both hands. And then take a few circles one direction. Remembering to breathe here, that's always important. And a few circles the other direction. And then drawing the left foot forward, dropping that back knee, maybe cushion up with a blanket here. We'll inhale, lift the arms up to the sky. Taking one more deep breath in. And exhale, sit the hips back, toes down or flexed. I recommend flexing the toes. It gives much more of an active stretch. Plugging that left hip in. We'll take one more deep breath here. And exhale, walking the palms forward. Plant the right palm. Inhale, left arm open, rolling that heart open as we reach back for those right toes. Really rolling the heart open, lifting the gaze, plugging that right shoulder in, stretching through that right quadricep. We'll take one more deep breath in. And exhale, release. Tucking those back toes, lift that back thigh, slide the blanket out of the way, square the hips, and inhale, float the arms up, rooting down through that left foot. 2 breaths here, knitting the rib cage together, pressing out through that back heel, lengthening that back thigh. One more deep breath in. And exhale, draw the hands to the hips as we step the right foot forward, square the hips, plugging that left hip in. Inhale, Lift the gaze, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, tilt the pelvis and fold forward. Maybe the hands release. Allow the head to release. 2 breaths here, stretching into that left leg. And then walking the palms forward. Maybe you bend the knee a little bit to lift yourself up onto that left leg. Standing split, hips squared down. Root through that left foot. 1 more deep breath in. And then drop the right toes all the way to the back of the mat. Plant the palms and find your way into downward facing dog. 2 breaths here in down dog. On an inhalation, we'll lift the right leg up to the sky. And as you exhale, step it through, finding that low lunge again. Feeling free. Again, cushion up that knee. And we'll sit the hips back. So this is where you can start moving into your splits. So your first option is to go from here and just start kind of walking that foot out a little bit. Maybe walk the back foot back a little. Feel free to pause here. You can bring your hands to a block. You can maybe walk out a little further. Maybe you're at a place where you want to sit on that block. So really try to keep that back hip squaring forward and pause. We don't have to, it's not splits or die, we can spend our time easing into it, stretching out these muscles that need to be stretched out. Again, the hamstrings, the psoas, stretching out that back, that heart space. We'll take 4 more deep breaths wherever you are. Maybe you're up here. Little by little, that's what it takes, patience. We'll take 3 more deep breaths. And maybe you've gone a little further. Maybe you're all the way down. You can play with lifting the fingertips, keeping them down. 1 more deep breath in. And exhale, release, pressing into the palms. Lift yourself back up, moving that block off to the side. Draw the knees in. Sit the hips back for a moment. Take a pause. Notice if you feel any judgment towards yourself right now, and know that the splits are just the splits. They're not a reflection of who you are. Well, as we're ready, make our way back into that downward facing dog. This time, inhaling the left toes up to the sky. And exhale, step them through, finding that low lunge again. As we plug the left hip back, root that hip back. And again, use this as your starting point. Lengthen through the spine. Maybe from here you start to go a little further. Knowing that going further doesn't always mean, just in the physical sense. We can get to a point where we feel something so intense. So just find that edge, play with it, hold a little kindness for yourself. And then maybe you start to go down a little deeper. Again, maybe you bring that block and sit it under your hip. Giving yourself a little support, a little something to work towards, to rest against. Maybe you play with lifting the fingertips. And if you feel pretty stable, you can play with lifting the arms. But again, it's a process. So wherever you're at today, we'll take 3 more deep breaths. One more big deep inhalation and big deep exhalation. And then release, pressing into the palms, lift yourself back up. engaging those muscles to bring ourselves back to sit. And then draw the knees in, taking a moment to sit the hips to the heels. Well, thank you for sharing your practices with me today. Thanks for stretching it out. Remember to hold patience for yourself, especially if you're a dancer. I know I used to be a dancer myself, ballet, and we can be pretty hard on ourselves when it comes to splits. So anyways, if you like the video, check out the other ones, like us on Facebook, follow me, and hope to see you back here soon. Namaste.